folks, Wes here, your Craft Beer Geek, back with another beer review. Tonight we have a beer from Clipper City Brewing Company out of Baltimore, Maryland. This is their Loose Canon Triple Hopped IPA. Comes in at 7.25% alcohol by volume in a 12-ounce bottle. And I have had this before, so I kind of have a good idea of what I think about it beforehand, but I wanted to go ahead and give it an official review on camera. So let's go ahead and dig into this, and I'll let you know what I think and give you a tasting. And of course, since it's an IPA, I'm going to drink it out of a tulip. I first had this beer at a local beer tasting event a few months ago, and was pretty surprised at how good it was. I had never heard of this beer before, and was actually quite impressed with it at the time. You know, sometimes it's difficult at beer tastings to get a good idea of a beer when you've had several beers beforehand, and palate gets kind of wrecked, so it's kind of difficult. So I wanted to have this separated out by itself and give it a fair shake just by itself as a standalone beer. Got a pretty decent head poured on it. It's fading fairly rapidly, but it's nice. It's a very clear beer. A little bit of carbonation just slowly rising in the glass. I'll give you an aroma here. Very green, hoppy, citrusy aroma to it. Very light, that light sort of crystal malt, light malt aroma to it. So let's go ahead and give it a taste, and I'll let you know what I think of that. This beer hits you just right up front, bang, with a bunch of like big grapefruity hop notes. Just a punch of grapefruit. It's like it's very close to grapefruit juice. It's that grapefruity. It's the most very strong grapefruit flavor in this beer. The mouthfeel sort of it's a medium mouthfeel. I mean, it's 7.25% ABV, so it's getting up there in the range. You know, there's not really a whole lot of flavor with the malts in this. This is like a, you know, the malts are there, but it's really hop forward beer. Very grapefruity, hop forward. And I'd say this is a really good springtime type beer, you know. Not for a real hot day, but for a very nice sunny springtime day. This would be a great beer. You know, it's got a little bit of, you know, it's medium bodied, so it's got a little bit of a texture to it. It's not watery and you know, like that. It's got a bit of a weight to it, but it's just really nice and fresh tasting, and spring, you know, springtime is a good what this brings to mind for me. And I just love that intense grapefruit flavor that it has. You know, it's not extremely bitter. You know, it's not mouth-puckeringly bitter. It is bitter, but it's not, you know, it's not way up there in the IBU range where it's crazy bitter, but it's got a lot of hop flavor to it, which is what I love. You know, which is what we want out of the hops. We want the flavor, not the bitterness so much. That's one thing I've learned as I go along, is there's a big difference between hop flavor and hop bitterness, and you can have one or the other or both depending on how, you know, when you do your hop additions and whatnot. And just because a beer has a high IBU rating doesn't mean necessarily that that it's really hop flavorful. You know, it can just be, you know, a very bitter beer, but not have much hop flavor. So it's quite interesting that, you know, the different ways you can use the hops in a beer to do different things, and it's not just a one-dimensional ingredient. You know, depending on what point in the brew process you put them in, it does different things, which is, it's quite nice. Just adds an extra layer of complexity to the beer, and an extra thing that can be done with just those, you know, 4 basic ingredients usually that are in beer. So yeah, I think I'm ready to give this a rating. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. You know, I'm kind of fluctuating between an 8 and a 9 on this. This is, you know, 8 seems too low, and 9 seems maybe a little too high. It's really difficult. I think I'm gonna stick with an 8 and just give a caveat that that's a high 8. This is a really great beer. Nothing at all wrong with it. I would buy this again. Like I said, I had this at a beer tasting and loved it, and I bought a 6-pack of it, and I've been drinking on that and really enjoying it. And this is something I would definitely buy again. Maybe in the springtime or the fall, when I want a little bit more body. It's probably a little bit too heavy for an everyday kind of beer during the summer here. It's just too hot. I want something a little bit lighter than this, but it is great beer. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe. You can check out all these reviews plus more on my blog, CraftBeerGeek.com. And remember, I don't drink bad beers. You shouldn't either. See you next time. Cheers.